I feel like I actually made more progress than normal this week, and I'm here for it. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to be doing my weekly update for everything that I read in the last week and kind of talking it through. And yeah, like I said in the intro, I actually feel like I did pretty good this week. And I started with one I wasn't originally planning on reading, which is 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City by KJ Parker. This is my first KJ Parker book, and we were talking about the author in Discord, and I commented that I had this, and people were talking about it. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to read it. And I'm really, really glad I did. I really enjoyed this book. It was really solid and I had a lot of fun, and it just kind of, I feel like tonally was a good one. And this is following a character who is an engineer, but they end up kind of thrust into a situation where it's up to them to try to save a city, and they're really conflicted on a lot of different things as well. We're exploring that, but it's done with kind of a nice light, like sarcastic kind of tone, and I think the line of the tone is done really, really well. This kind of feels like what I feel like The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie could have been if Abercrombie could just stop himself from being so sarcastic over the top. And this was kind of a little bit more balanced. That said, I'm going to talk a lot more about that. I am going to be doing a dedicated review, which will be coming out later this week, because I'm really there's a lot more I want to talk about. I had a fun time with it, and I'm really interested to continue and try more KJ Parker. Then, on the audio front, I did Prince of Dogs by Kate Elliott. This is book 2 of Crown of Stars, and I love this book. I loved this the first time that I read it, and then doing the reread, the buddy read going on in Discord as well. I still just loved it. There were definitely some things in here, some extra things that I was watching for and paying attention to, other little bits of world building, and there's so much with these books, and I'm having a fantastic time. I do think I'm going to do a video talking about the Ica, because in this book, or in this series, as you continue each book, you get a bit more world building, and it usually centers around like a specific either idea or group of people, creatures, etc. And in this one, you get a lot more Ica. There's still more to come, but there's a lot more Ica in this one, so I think I might do a little video talking about that. I don't know if it'll be a longer form or if it'll be a shorter one. We'll see. I haven't done it yet. So that may or may not be this week. That might be another time. But I'll definitely, I think, do one of those going forward, because I think a nice time. Then I ended up on Kindle because I needed something on Kindle, because the other stuff that I was going was physical, but I wanted to also not do something super long so that I'd be able to jump into whatever I was going to be doing next once something cleared up, because I've been trying to multi-format books, and so I have several books where I have the ebook and the physical, and so I'm doing both so I can keep reading it. So I decided to do Court of Fives by Kate Elliott. Now, I knew I was not going to like this. This is not a book that is for me. This is a YA kind of in the same vein as, all of the Hunger Gamesian things, which I don't like. I knew I wasn't going to like. However, I read this because I had a physical copy that I picked up just because it was Kate Elliott. Found out more about it, and I'm like, I'm not going to like this. This is just, I'm not the audience for this. And so wasn't sure if I was going to read it, but I gifted it to one of my nieces who's about the right age group for this, because she's just like early teens, and I'm like, this is probably somebody who might enjoy this a little bit more. However, since I hadn't read it, I felt weird that I gave her the book and I hadn't read it, because younger niece I've given books that I have read, and so I'm like, oh, I should probably read it. So I decided to read it, and not a surprise, I didn't really like it that much. It's not for me, and it's so hard for me to tell. Most of my complaints I feel like are because of the format. It's YA. It's very rushed. It's sometimes overly convoluted with what's happening. I did like the very ending, with what happens at the very ending, even though it made me groan, because it was also kind of just cheesy with some of the things that are being done. But I like the way this specifically ends with a choice that the main character makes. So I will give it that. But it wasn't really for me. Knew it wasn't going to be. I'm not going to do a review for this because I just feel like I described the book. I feel like it's YA. It takes place. It involves a sporting competition kind of thing, as well as the commoners versus the patrons. You know what it is. There's just been so many books like that. I don't like those books, and so that's where I'm like, It wasn't terrible, but it was not for me in any way, and I knew it wouldn't. So there's that. I did read that, and then what I'm working on right now, is what I was actually originally planning on doing when I ended up picking up 16 Ways, which is the last of the Atalanteans by P.L. Stewart. This is the second book in the Drowned Kingdom saga, and I've been really looking forward to continuing the series. This one's a bit beefy, So we'll definitely be going through, but I would like to get this finished up pretty quick. I did end up buying the ebook for this one too, because the author had sent me the physical copies. I ended up buying the ebook as well, just because I'm like, that way, I can do both formats and get through here also. And so I've just started this. I'm not super far yet, and so we'll be continuing there. And then I also have just started the Towers of the Sunset. Okay, I that's what I was trying to say, but my brain told me that wasn't right, but that is right. The Towers of the Sunset, which is the second book in the Recluse saga, and also I've just barely gotten started here, but so far interesting because this takes place way before the first book, chronologically, before Recluse is even established, and also a very, very different main character here, where the character here is like very, kind of brash, seems a bit arrogant, and very good at a lot of things, versus Laris in the first one, who felt like he's not very good at anything. And so really, really, really different feel, and I'm kind of curious because I sort of like the idea of still focusing on world building, but jumping into a completely different time period, completely different type of character. So I'm really interested to see where this one goes as well. Also, hopefully I'll get both of these finished this week, hopefully. But we'll see. And then I should ideally pick something else up too, but we will see. So I'm not sure at this point, but those are the ones that I'm working on, and we'll definitely be reading in this coming week. Really, that's it. That's all that I have on the reading front. I guess on the watching front is I've been watching the TV show Resident Alien because they put it on Netflix, and it is fantastic. I love Alan Tudyk. If you love Alan Tudyk, I feel like that's all you really need to know about the show. But it's really funny and just really well done. And Alan Tudyk is amazing. His physical comedy and the way he talks, playing the alien who's like trying to hide in a town, fantastic. So that's really good too. So there's a random aside. I don't really talk about TV a whole lot, but there you go. But anyway, that is all for this one. Let me know what you read this week and or your thoughts on any of the stuff that I mentioned in this video. I always love hearing from you and hearing what you're reading and what you think about different things that I've read as I go along as well. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for the Wizardly Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of these books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun. We'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.